strong.
Hi, and welcome to Funny Minds. I'm your host, Lynn B., and I'm with my co-host,
Edward Biss. How are you?
And today we have on our show Peter G., who is the inventor and big dog on the Peter G. Show. Hi, Peter. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. We're running a little late. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry we made you wait.
That's okay. I just I knew the green screen was going to be green.
See, you got Zoom. You did Zoom. You were so afraid you weren't going to be able to do it.
No. I was hoping to integrate to put something in the back. Are we on now going, or are we?
Yeah,
starting?
Yes.
Well, there you go. I'm naked.
What a leprechaun.
Yeah, that's all right. As long as you can hear me and see me, I guess. Well, you might not want to see me, but hearing me is not so bad.
Wow, we hear you, we see you, and that's fine. So what's the Peter G. Show? You talk about life and experiences and da-da-da, and, you know, and you throw a little comedy in there. So, gee, Ed, doesn't that sound a little familiar to you?
Yeah, but his hair's not purple, so
Yeah,
you know what?
that's
You
true.
just
I missed it by a few. You missed it by a few years. It used to be.
yeah, right. Just a few.
Yeah.
So what do you do, Peter G.? Tell us.
What do I do? What don't I do? Lately, I do a lot. I mean, the show started in 2015, 2016. I mean, I started thinking about it back in 2012. Life had changed. I was a musician my whole life. I was a drummer. I moved. I moved to LA because of music. You know, I grew up in Pensacola, Florida, mostly. Born in New Haven, Connecticut, on your end, East Haven, Connecticut. And but by 15, my parents moved, and that's when I really started shaping up. And I knew I wanted to play, and I was good at it. And I did my rounds. I felt like I was all spent up over there, and I wanted to go bigger, so I moved to LA. And I've been in LA 32 years, almost 33 years now, and got married 2003, had a baby in 2005. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow, 18 years old.
Oh, happy
Wow.
birthday.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Her name is Anna G.
Happy
Anna
birthday,
G.
Anna G.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
The light of my life. I mean, it changed. You know, you think, because I'm an older dad, and you'd think that, like, you know, I was pretty settled. I was touring a lot and things, but you'd think that things would be okay. But man, once that baby popped out, it does change a lot of things. Your focus, I don't know, you know, it just goes right there. They need you, and I have no complaints. I adore her, and I've been very blessed. She's been the easiest child. I got one of those, not like me. And
Right.
so I managed to I was doing well, but I went through a divorce in 2009 through 2012, and it changed a lot of things. I stopped touring because that's the only way you can make money in music anymore. I mean, unless you're out there, there's no more. I used to do a lot of studio work for songwriters. And, you know, because I was good. I'm good at feel. I have feel. I mean, I may not be like an octopus, but feel is everything to music. You play less when you're playing for other people's music. And I was good at it, but it dried up. The computers just changed everything. But the divorce really, I had to make a choice. Do I want to be here to raise her, or do I want to be gone and send a check? And I just couldn't do it. I was just crazy. Like, your mindset changes. But I didn't know what to do, because I've been a musician my whole life, and you can't play locally and make money. It doesn't work. You know, it's $50, $75, $100 here and there. And I took a real job. First time, I mean, I was a paper boy when I was 12, I think. And I, you know, and it hurt, because I'm not a real job kind of guy, if you know what I mean. I've just been I've always done the impossible thinking stuff. And I loved it, and I didn't know what to do, but I started going through this divorce stuff, which about drove me crazy. I understand why people drink themselves under the table, and then you come to realize that half the world is divorced, or been divorced, or product of divorce.
Yeah.
And I started talking about it, because one thing I'm also pretty good at is talking about stuff and talking with people. I'm good with people. And I started thinking about it. It took me 4 years of talking about it and thinking about it because, coming from a production aspect of music, I just wanted to come out the gates, national television.
You had the grandiose ideas. Okay.
Yeah, the joke was on me, because it doesn't, so finally some of my closest friends that know me and believe in me, they said, look, man, you got to back it up. And even though I had a producer at the time, he's like, you got to back it down. You don't have the budget for it, and you don't have the just the people. It takes a lot of money.
Wait, you have friends in LA?
I know a few. No. But no, I have a lot of people. I'm very, again, I have the kind of people that I might not see them all the time, but if I need something, it's okay because we're that tight. And they understand that life.
And they're honest.
Yeah. I've been really lucky because I always thought I was going to encounter a lot of crap in LA, a lot of shiesty people, and very, very few in my life. I mean, I got burned a couple of times. I think we all do, but a lot less than some. And so I'm very blessed. I still have people that go to people that are big people. I mean, but they're busy too. And you just can't, just because I want to be somebody different now, you can't snap your fingers. I have to go through the motions starting from zero again, and a lot harder because I'm not 20 anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And it hurt, but my passion for this, I started, and the journey is very cool because how I started, your look, the sound, that's all important to me, and how it evolved going from one way to another way, having catastrophes happen, during the shows. I'm sure you had to.
Oh, yeah.
We just had one.
Oh, okay. Well, so we started, and I started with a guy that was, going to be my co-host. It was the Jim and Peter show. And I wrote the theme song, the whole deal. And we talked about it and worked on it for years. But once we got going, I made a mistake. Although we were funny together, kind of, because I like laughing. Laughing is a lot better than crying. But I just couldn't.
A little bit.
I'm looking at a camera that I have 8 feet away, and the camera's right here, and I apologize if I'm looking off because I'm
you're behind.
Okay. Your eyes. I mean, in the old shows, the iPhone, I used to record with the iPhone right in front of me.
Yeah.
And I used to record with a $1,400 microphone directly into the iPhone. And
Oh, geez.
but the camera was so close that I had to put sunglasses on because you're looking at the little monitor, but the camera's like 3 inches away, and you're kind of cockeyed because you're looking
and it's so small.
Yeah, right.
So things have changed, but either way, I moved on from the guy that we only did it for about 8 months. We did about 40 shows, something like that.
Was it just a chemistry thing?
Yeah. He was all talk and no action. He wanted to be right on top too, and I just finally came to the reasoning of we're going to have to crawl before we can walk. It's just like being a band. If you want to get a record deal, you have to just keep writing songs, and that's what I'm doing every week. I keep writing songs, so to speak, and now here I am from 2016, 17 officially was the Peter G Show, and here I am. It's 2023, getting ready to go into 2024. Almost 400 shows under my belt, and still writing those songs because there's a fine line between having it made and making it. And here I am. So I started talking a lot about divorce and single parenting because it was relatable. But as I got going, I just found people who have alcoholism problems, but dealing with the loss of your parents. I mean,
right.
And it's all important to these people, to each person. That's their biggest, anybody who has a problem, it's their problem. So it's the biggest problem in the world. And I refused to, I said, I know I'm doing this, but I can do this and I can do this. So hence Peter G, the greatest divorce and single parenting dad, turned into Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show. And here we are. I mean, I talk about everything, and I get on current events too. And unfortunately, all these platforms, YouTubes and on TikToks, they don't like when I talk about current events because they're very selective on what they want.
Right.
They value we have no more freedom of speech and open opinions. I tell people, don't believe what I say, but if I'm putting something out there, take it to heart and then do your own homework and use your better judgment,
Right.
Yeah. I've noticed that, Peter. And we're similar in a lot of respects, but we've never gone down the route of current events,
right?
Because of that.
I told him that. Yeah,
I like you already see the writing on the wall, and we're learning about everything that has been happening and is still happening. And if you do have anything that differs from what they want out there, they will shut you down. So that's a quick way to shut your show down.
Oh, no doubt. And I've backed everything up. Now, YouTube has taken down about 12 shows of mine over the past 2 years. Recently, now they're digging into my past, and they're going into show. They're because when everybody
exactly.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about it. We didn't know any better. I mean, and then they started clamping down, and it's like, screw you guys. And I started caring, and worrying about what I said. But I'm telling you, 2024 is going to be a whole new me, and I don't care anymore because, either you love me or you hate me. But, you can't love me or hate me if you don't know I exist.
You're just going to have to keep reinventing ways to get yourself out there as they keep trying to shut you down.
I'll find a home somewhere. I mean, I'm on 11 different video platforms, and the podcasts are on like 25, 26 different places. But I don't know. To me, they go, why don't you go on Rumble? And, and I just believe in common sense. I hate this left and right stuff, and we're so divided. I swore when I did my show I would never get into politics and religion, but we're at a time that I have a voice. There's people that listen and or watch, and some can't stand me, and a lot of them love me. You can't please everybody. But I said, if I don't do this when I feel the need to do it, shame on me. Because, example, the fires in Hawaii. They came, they went, you hear nothing about them, and there's people that are suffering from all that stuff. There's a lot more going on behind that than what they tell you to believe. And I couldn't let it go. People were writing me, God bless you. Thank you for doing this. Putting myself at risk. I even got death threats.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do? I mean, somebody's got to do it. I'm not even crazy. I'm pretty level compared to
that. Seems to be the status quo these days. If you regurgitate anything that anybody doesn't want to hear, it goes down the same path. And eventually it goes as far as death threats and stuff like that. When you put yourself out there.
That's like...
Especially online, if you're doing a podcast, you put yourself out there, you open yourself up, and you got to be, you got to stay steadfast in what you believe in. And if you're passionate enough and get it out there, and you are always going to have people that are going to appreciate.
Well, not everybody's going to agree with who you have on, what they have to say, where they come from, what they look like. I mean, like somebody said to me, well, you have a lot of musicians on. No, I don't. They're part of the show. They're a small part of the show. Just because somebody's a musician doesn't mean, you can't watch the show. They have a lot of interesting things to say. Did you even bother listening? You know what I mean? Like, we're not all about musicians. Does my son know a lot of musicians? Yes, he does, because he is one. But that doesn't mean that every show we have on is going to be musicians. I do like to have musicians on the show.
Well, also, too, it was the easiest avenue for us when we were starting out.
When we started
because I knew so many. Being one, I knew so many.
Right. Well, you use what you got. I mean, this year I've had two or three. I try to sprinkle a few in because I am surrounded by guys who play with Elton John. I mean, it was but the thing is, when I get them on the show, I don't talk about music so much. I mean, I give, for the viewers who don't know, we do a short synopsis, but we start talking about life like a lot of these people I haven't seen in 10 years. They're on the Christmas card list. We both know we're alive, but so I use it and we catch up on the show. I said, this is going to be a phone conversation on the show live visually. And then I get people that get upset. They go, of all the things you could have talked about, it's like, they have 9 million how they played an A chord. I can care less about that.
They covered what their favorite guitar is. I mean, let's get past that.
We talk about life. We finally dive into it personal, like, married, divorced, had kids. And because people don't get to hear that they are just real. Normal.
They're a real person. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, you want to touch base on maybe they just put out an album or
all that kind of stuff.
they got an award for something. So you want to put that out there because they're very proud of it and you want a lot of people to know it and they want a lot of people to know it.
I find that a lot of them want to give you
they want to go off on a different tangent once
it's interesting that after I talk to them when we're off the air, I go, man, sorry, that we didn't talk too much about. They go, dude, I'm so tired of talking about.
Right.
And I'm really sorry. I'm looking at the green screen. It's driving me nuts. I keep looking on your Zoom thing to see if I could figure out how to put the background in there, but it's like too late.
Well,
it's fine.
When they do the production, they'll add it in.
Okay, cool. Because I just have a whole different. I was lucky, at least all the miking and stuff was able to integrate through everything. But anyway, but either way, I love. I mean, I have access to. I've been so fortunate being in LA and traveling. I've had access and worked with some of the biggest people in the world, and I'm small potatoes, but we're friends. And so if I say, hey, why don't you come on my show? I can, they'll come on my show regardless of if they're not too busy. And but again, all about life, because life is it's hard. It's
and it's getting harder.
It's a bitch.
Little bit.
So I said I'm going to do this like clockwork, every week, regardless. And I take a show once out of the month. I do. I mean, I like having guests, but there's times when I like doing the show all by myself because I have so much topic stuff to talk about, like the current event stuff. And so we stay pretty darn busy. I mean, pretty darn busy. I'm trying not to swear for you.
Oh, go for it.
I have this tendency.
Swear?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Damn it.
Okay, I just
damn busy.
Yeah, I'm not really bad about that either. I just kind of, it slips out because it's very, to me, it adds color to the conversation. It really,
we'll just say, we'll add in that you just have a very, 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 very minor case of Tourette's.
Yeah, I do. I got all kinds of stuff.
No, they have an operation for that now.
Do they? I'm sure.
It's called the swear jar.
Yeah, swear jar. Oh,
you go broke having Tourette's.
Hey, I had a girl working for me, and we had a lot of lunches on her swear jar. Let me tell you.
Wow. Yeah. I'm broke, and my swear jar is broke. So I all these IOUs.
Hey, Peter, what is? Let me ask you, what is your instrument?
I'm a drummer.
Oh, drummer. Okay.
Percussionist. Okay.
Yeah, I've been a drummer. In fact, it's weird because I always said that if I could get this show to a soundstage level, I would bring in some of these great players that I have and do a little like jamming with Peter G or something,
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, I got to get to that level. I said that 5 years ago, but because it's too, I mean, even though it's a good sized room, it's just not, location, availability, all that adds up to more money. I mean, making people available, making sure they get here. That's where your big money shows come in. But
yes, absolutely.
It's on the list. But I'm a drummer. I've been a drummer, and the whole thing is that I'm hardly playing now because I'm so busy, and I'm starting to mentally realize that I'm hardly playing now, and don't just go somewhere, because a lot of places, like especially when I grew up in Pensacola, I mean, there's a lot of people that have a lot of respect for me because I was good, and when I come into town, I can go sit and play with anybody, but. I'm starting to question that now because I need to woodshed a little bit, and I'm just.
I don't we all?
Well, it would always used to be like a bicycle to me. I mean, okay, maybe we're not doing rush licks all day, but the groove, so long as the groove is there, the feel, I'm good, and that's really what people used to pay me for. But
there was times where I'd be on tour and you're do back to back to back to back for all this time, and then you come off the road. I wouldn't touch my guitar sometimes for like a month and a half.
Well, that's good. I think that's a good thing.
You just don't.
But at least a guitar, you can put it on your lap while you're watching TV and noodle. Drums are noisy and they're very physical and
very noisy.
You have to have the place and the time for it. And COVID. It's a good thing that I was a step ahead of COVID with the live. Like, I don't use your system like what you use, but I use something similar, a little bit different, called StreamYard, that gives me a lot of flexibility to multi-stream. And when COVID hit, everybody's confined to their houses. I mean, we're scared. We really don't know what the truth is or what's not.
Right.
And And thank God that I was already doing my show never missed a beat because I was able to have people. Zoom got really popular during COVID. Now, I knew nothing. That's why I was questioning you, Lynn, about Zoom, because I haven't touched it since like 2018. So I knew nothing about it because I never use it. I always have my StreamYard setup stuff. And all of a sudden, everybody's using this and that. But I already had a way to get people onto my show because years ago, it used to be one-on-one, 3 cameras, multi-recording, editing got real expensive. And I just had to cut back. I didn't have that kind of money. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started with this whole live streaming. And I figured it out, thank God, before COVID. And we've just been going, smoothly, not a bump in the road. The main talk shows on all these national ABC, CBS, I was telling Lynn on our pre-conversation, they were naked. They didn't know what to do. They didn't have nobody telling the audience to clap. They didn't have, they were just talking into a dead air camera. And let me tell you,
ill prepared.
Well, it's not easy talking to a dead camera.
No, not at all.
2 minutes in, you feel like you're an hour, and you got to have something to say. And
there's no energy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
there's nothing to pump you up. Yeah.
This is where my whole psyche comes in because I can care less. It was like they were doing my show, and I have no problem. I'm so used to nobody listens to me anyway, so I'm always talking to myself. So it's like,
right? I thought I was the only one.
No. So I just already had it kind of together. And so we've been going at it. Now my next step is I want to grow. I get people coming to me for magazine articles and things like that, which I'm very honored. But the next step is like the show's got to go into another level. And what that level is, I'm not really sure right now.
Oh, you don't know where you want to go with it?
Well, when people start making offers, because I've taken this, I think, to as much as doing it streaming wise and things like that. I want more of a production and I need people again, or at least I would like to have, I wear a lot of hats and it's very tiresome.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a full-time job for me and it's a blessing and a curse.
Right.
Be careful of what you ask for, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Peter, as a percussionist, and I gotta bang you with at least one drum question.
Okay.
As far as someone I always admired as a drummer was Kenny Arnoff, and I got the chance to meet him once when I was young. He came to our music store doing a clinic, and what do you think of him? And have you ever bumped into him?
It's Kenny. It's funny because he's one of the few drummers that I haven't met. Met and really talked to, other than a handshake. And he is one of the workingest drummers in the business. I remember 30 years ago, he was saying, you got to get it while it's good because you don't know when it's going to end. Because a lot of people have this fantasy, that just because they're playing with Michael Jackson, this is just an example. They're playing with Michael Jackson or somebody that you're rich beyond your dreams. And that's not really always true. It's very expensive to be out here and the business is expensive. And if you didn't write the hit songs, now hit songs don't mean anything anymore. But I have friends that I remember that they've written songs 40 years ago that were still, if somebody took a sample off of it or something, another 5 million coming in, from 30 years ago. Those days are kind of over. And now it's totally reliant, unless you have that catalog of good songs, your Journeys, again, your Toto.
Oh, yeah.
Foreigners, just
Elton John, yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to, it's tough. It's tough to be a hired gun nowadays, but it is still, I can think of worse things to do, but Kenny's, he's just pro. He's all pro. When people ask me who's your favorite drummer? There's too many.
Oh yeah.
I've pulled from so many people.
No. It's like being in sports. You're a fan of the game. When you're a musician like us, you're just a fan of music. Yeah. I'm a fan of so many drummers, bass players, other guitarists, singers, genres of music. It's just sky's the limit,
Greg Bissonette is a guy.
Oh yeah, Greg.
I'm kind of close to him. I don't see him hardly anymore because again, I'm out of the loop. It's me. But he plays with everybody also because he's so well versed. He can read like a fiend. He plays from jazz to rock. He went from You know, he plays with Ringo Starr's band now, you know, in between doing all his other stuff. And years ago, I didn't realize how important when I moved to LA it was to read, because he was so busy that he was willing to throw me his. I always would do gigs that people couldn't afford to pay him. I would do recordings that people who wanted Greg Bissonette but couldn't afford Greg Bissonette. So they call me. I mean,
with the speed dial, it said "Poor man's Bissonette." Call this.
Well, yeah, and I don't take that as a bad thing either, because it wasn't.
No, Greg's amazing.
Well, he is amazing, but that you want, you know, when you're trying to make it, you want to surround yourself with the bigger, you know, the more highlighted, you know, musicians. So I wasn't nearly as up there in the who you are genre, and so I don't take it as a you know, like, oh, you know, they want me because they can't afford Greg. I take it as a compliment, because they, you know, I could do it. But Greg was going to throw me gigs, but I'm not a good reader, because I've played in cover bands my whole life growing up, and I got out of reading. And so I wasn't as proficient as he is. And he goes, well, you can read, right? And I remember, I think we're standing, I don't know where we were, at a studio somewhere that he was at and I was at. And he goes, and I go, not so much. And he goes, I could see the look on his face, because he wanted to use me. Yeah, so reading is fundamental, okay, for music. If you're in LA doing...
Well, especially if you want to get into the studio aspect.
That kind of stuff. If there's any more left, I don't even know anymore, because I was very quick. I could learn things. People, you know, when you're doing songs, but he would do jingles, and he'd do everything. But anyway, but Kenny Arnold is just like that, too. They read that they can go do award shows. They can go do, you know, jingles. They can go play whatever, and they're that good.
Yeah, the sky's the limit when someone you walk on, they hand you the sheets, and you go sit down and you read them and you play. Yeah, I mean, that's just, it doesn't get more professional than that. And that's really Berkeley level stuff.
It is. And they all went to school. J.R. Robinson, John Robinson, I'm friends with him too. He's on the Christmas card list as well. And, you know, I'm trying to get these guys, but they're busy. This year, I wasn't able to get Bissonette on the show, because I did a month of musicians in May. And I had like Steve Picaro from Toto and Terry Woolman, this big jazz, well, not really jazz, big guitarist. Who else? Tim Pierce, a big major studio guitarist who doesn't do studio work anymore, but he has a master class guitar thing on YouTube. He's huge. And So I was trying to I need to get a drummer in here. And Greg was busy because he was going out with Ringo, and JR has been on the road too. Everybody who never had to go on the road anymore is going on the road.
They're on the road, yeah.
That's all that's left. You know, there's JR did a thing I saw it, and he took a picture in this studio called the Village Recorders in Santa Monica, and he took a picture of Studio D. He goes, Studio D, because nobody gets to spend time there anymore. Good days, you know.
Wow.
Well, there's no more recordings hardly. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, everything's done at home, or you know,
Pro Tools. Everybody gets Pro Tool files and sends them the file, and they add on to it, and they send the file back, and you know, it's
that's what life. Jeff was saying too. Jeff does. Yeah, they send him stuff. He puts what he has on the Pro Tools and sends it back.
Yeah, I mean, you're at the point now. They ask you to be on an album, you agree, and they go, "Okay, well, we'll send you the files. You have the drums."
Yeah.
It kind of sucks. I remember when they first started doing loops and samples back in like the late 90s, when it started getting really popular, where it was sounding good. And coming in, you know, people were like, Kirk Biscara, another drummer, Kirky B, he's a really funky, got a good groove. I remember seeing him for the first time with Morris Day in the Night.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, you would. He was.
Remember the movie Animal House?
Yeah.
No, not Otis Day. Not Otis Day. More.
More. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Morris Day with Prince and
Prince.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I see my voice isn't ready for that right now. Yeah.
No, mine isn't either. I'm sick.
Yeah. So Kirky B came in and he was going to do some sweetening. Yeah. He says, I'm so sick of sweetening loops and this and that. He goes, it's good to be in the room with the cats, you know, and I get it, because you forget how cool it is to be right there with that person with the headphones on and, you know, just laying it down.
Oh, absolutely. Different ball game. You know what show I used to love, Peter, and I'm sure you've seen it, was Live at Daryl's House.
I think that's a great show too.
That was phenomenal. If you don't know what that is, Daryl Hall and Oates.
Oh, yeah.
Daryl Hall has a house upstate New York that he turned into a studio, and he would have this show where he'd have all these master musicians around him, and he'd have one guest that he'd invite, like let's say Sammy Hagar. Yeah. And Sammy would come out to the farmhouse, they'd eat, drink wine, talk about life,
whatever, yeah.
And then they would step out into the studio and they would do a Sammy Hagar song. And the band had it down totally to a T. Yeah. They would take a break, talk some more. It was a whole show. And they'd come back out and they would do like a Hall & Oates song.
Yeah.
And it was just the coolest show.
I never watched it.
Well, no. It's a very cool show. And again, that takes money to do that. You know, you just say, hey, just come on out to New York and just come out, come on out to Habbo Wabbo. And
that's a serious budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even that. I mean, it's not like doing the Ellen show or nothing like that, but it does take the thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. To make that.
And they do get some sponsorship money and advertisement.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
But that's a great show. But man, I just saw him on a couple of interviews where he's, talking about his partner.
Yes.
And now he sounded really kind of weird to me. I'm going, I don't know what's going on, but I had a lot of respect for him when I was just watching the old days.
Yeah, I seen that recently too, and I was out of the loop on any relationship issues, but
I don't know them, so
it's a shame.
But it just sounded awful, kind of. Yeah,
but a hell of a show.
Yeah. So it was all good.
So now you're the new year is gonna be a new you, but are you still gonna be streaming or?
When I say new me, I don't mean it's like a total makeover of the show or anything like that. I'm just going to care a lot less about what I say and to whom is listening to punish me for it. And that's what they're doing because see, I'm on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, LinkedIn, the BitChute, a bunch of different live platforms, Twitter or X, and now I'm going to have the capability next year of being on Instagram Live too as well at the same time. Mm-hmm. And the thing is like, okay, I'm on Rumble. You can say Rumble's a free speech platform.
Yeah.
And that's great. But I don't want to talk to, I want them to listen to me, but they're like-minded people. I mean, they're already, if I'm talking about things that people are on the fence, they're already, one way or the other. I want to stay legitimate on YouTube because I'm not always talking about things that they disagree and want to take me down about. There's times when I'm talking about, we're having fun. We're just having a fun show or alcoholism or just things that are important. And YouTube is a very big platform. It's your go-to for how to fix something or learn to do something.
Oh, God.
If you don't know how to do something, you go to YouTube and look it up and you know.
I do. I mean, I wish I had that back when I was younger, but I had to figure it out the hard way. But so I'm saying that, I want to reach those people. I just talked to, and now, again, I don't care who you are politically or whatever, but it was funny because I talked to this girl who was on my show about 2 months ago about alcoholism. She was a 30-year alcoholic and she's been clean now for over a year. And I was catching up with her about something. And she said, I don't know how it came up. And I said, yeah, well, it's getting crazy with, Trump and this. And she goes, Trump's running for president? And I just stopped and held myself. I go, look, I don't care who you love or hate, if you love, the right or the left, but how could you not know, even just living and breathing air? Because she says, well, I don't follow politics anymore. I'm so sick of it. I go, I hear you. But
good.
True, but you can't get away from that. I mean, it's like, how could you not know that man, whether you love him or hate him, again, that's your choice and opinion. But regardless, my point was it's like, how do you not know this? I mean, she truly thought that he was done, finished, it was over with. And this is why I want to stay relevant on like your Facebooks. Facebooks I'm huge on. I'm not huge. I have a pretty good crowd on Facebook. I started there. It's taken off pretty well. But
that's good.
YouTube has throttled me back. They shadow ban. And they, if they don't like you, they manipulate your algorithms to where you may have 100,000 people looking at you and they'll say you have 25. I mean,
really?
Oh, absolute shit. Welcome to I'm not saying I have 100,000 people. I don't even know anymore. Because they make it to where you don't fall into the categories to be looked at, to be seen on strangers. And my point saying, I guess, long story long, was I want to stay on YouTube. I really do. because I want to reach the people like this girl that has no clue about what's going on in something, to perhaps just at least turn the light on, because it's real life and we're living in this stuff, I mean, and people with alcoholism, how can you reach people that can relate, that have cousins or people or themselves that go, man, this was worth watching. I need, you need to watch this. If they take me off, then I can't reach those people. And that's why I want to stay relevant, but there's just times when it's like, this is petty, nitpicking baloney. I mean, they're wiping me out. And because even my daughter, she's a child, not she's a child, but I said, they took off the show from 2020, and she looked at me and she said, why? It's 2020. Who cares? But they did, That's the way it's working. And censorship, and this is bad for you and me people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're shutting us down little by little, taking away little things. And I'm no big, again, giant conservative. I'm just all about common sense, decency, and freedom in the United States. I mean, we're losing it. You don't even feel it.
Yeah. They want you to reach people. They just want to pick and choose what you reach them about.
Are you still gonna do streaming? Or
you're
still gonna stream?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm the show is the same, but I guess I'm gonna say that my tongue. I guess this girl from the South, she said, when she got pissed off one day on my show with this other caller, and she said, my zipper done broke, and she said,
oh, that's Southern.
Yeah, she says, I done come unhooked. And then she started, my show was like, it was, she was F-bombing the whole show. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was a great show. I mean, because he was
awesome. She was fired up.
She was mad at this other caller for digging into me because he and I liked the guy that was talking to me, but she come and to defend me because he just, and boy, oh boy, she let him have it. But I just think that we need to, especially it bothers me when a lot of things are factual and they just don't want things to, they just want everything to be covered over. And
it's just,
yeah. So I really don't know what's going to happen next year. Let's put it that way, Lynn.
No one does.
But,
somebody does, just not us.
Well, yeah, but even with the direction of my show, because in my mind, the phone could ring tomorrow and things change forever. That looks like overnight, but yet they don't see the 10 years behind it.
Yeah.
I know why people quit. This is hard. This is not easy doing these kind of shows. People don't realize that. Booking alone is a pain in the ass. You know what I mean?
See, I can't say I have any problem with that. I still have probably about 179 people that are waiting to get on my show right now.
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. They don't.
I mean, I've been very, I'm going to knock on wood. I've been very lucky with, we do it like we were doing every 10 weeks. Now we're doing a few people a month, like maybe 7 people a month or 5 or whatever. But every time I ask somebody to be on, I go out and say, okay, we pick a date and I'll just do it. And I haven't had a problem, and they seem to fall into the slots that I need. And
yeah, but Peter, this is going back to the purple hair. That's part of the change you need to this upcoming year. Might want to consider that.
I'm lucky to still have hair. Okay, it's definently grayed out, but I'm still hanging on to it.
Just hanging on to it, right?
Oh man, because I was just last night I was looking through. I went and pulled a VCR player, praying it would work because tomorrow's my daughter's birthday. And I wanted to find this little, this tape of her birth that she's never seen. And so I'm digging in a box that's been put away for 30 years and looking for VCR tapes to try to test because I didn't want this machine to eat the tape,
Yeah.
Right.
Most of the tapes are aging and I didn't even know if they work. And I'm looking at myself on some of these tapes, I had hair, down to my chest and a full head of hair and, just dark. And God, I miss me.
You're like, I have too much hair.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's
so funny you say that because I've held on to a VHS player, but it's like a dual VHS DVD.
Yeah, I wish.
So you could kind of, but just more for the VHS, because I have VHSs of stuff that I'd like to hold on to.
I need to transfer all that stuff, and that's why they've just been sitting in a box. But I had these little. They were like back then when I recorded it, it was a camcorder with a little like
right.
Yes.
And I thought I had that. And I kept that special, and then you have to put it in a bigger cassette cartridge.
Yes.
But anyway, the thing is, I'm just looking at this old stuff, and a lot of the tapes were kind of they were kind of sketchy. Like the viewing, they weren't clean, And I don't know whether it's the age of the tape or the machine. But I need to
probably a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. You're right. Now all that stuff needs to get transferred, but it's one of those get around to it.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not cheap to do either.
Yeah. Well, but just like if you have that machine, I can at least transfer it to a DVD. And I sold that thing. I got rid of it. Yeah. So now I'll have to get another one. But anyway, yeah.
Were you able to pull it off? Did your daughter see it?
No, here's the thing. I've been hanging on to these two little mini cassette video VCRs. They've been in they weren't even in the box of 30-year stuff, because I literally have recordings, on,
big reels. Yeah.
Real audio.
Millimeter.
Yeah. Not even video, but audio recordings from studios, from that been put away, put away, what's the name of the film? I mean, the audio tapes. Anyway, the thing is, I had these two cassettes put in a cabinet that I thought was the birth videotapes of her for 18 years now. I took them out. They're not the videotapes.
Oh, geez.
And I don't know where the hell it is. So it's somewhere. Her mother's got it, which I'm pretty good at holding on to stuff. I am so upset because I wanted to surprise her tomorrow, just to sit down. She's going to spend the afternoon with me because she's got plans with her mother in the evening tomorrow. And I wanted to play the tape of her being born. I mean, that was one of the greatest days of my life. And now I don't have the tape, and I've gone crazy looking for it, but I don't lose things. So I don't know what's going to happen. But that's kind of a bummer. I was up till 4 a.m, though, looking at old tapes, and things like that, just seeing if they work. And some worked better than others. And I'm going, I don't want to run them too much because, again, they get old and they look good,
right?
Usually,
but yeah.
Anyway, but so to make sure if you got all your old stuff, to get it transferred, or you'll be really sorry. There's today's lesson.
All right, hang out procrastination land with Peter and I, where we have a nice big seat.
Because I'm so busy being in the day. I mean, I'm always. Like Sunday through Monday, so like I'm finishing up last week's show, because after we shoot the show, we cut clips. There's clips. I'm putting 2 shorts out every day, and then by Sunday we start promoting Wednesday again, and so I'm in the middle of 2 shows, finishing up last week's promotions or highlights, and then promoting the following week. So again, it keeps you busy. I dream of the day where I can, relinquish my rights to some of these responsibilities and just, worry about being the entertainment part of entertainment.
You just show up like Evel Knievel, right out of the trailer, cape.
Yeah. Just shoot right up the ramp.
Sometimes, some days it's
got a line of hot women there. You knuckle bump them on the way in, and
I like that thought, and so I'm going to work on that one. I'm telling you,
but get some slow-mo shots.
That's the perception most people have. I mean, I got people that go, man, well, you're different because it's different when you're rich. It's like, who are you talking to?
Right?
But that's perfect. That when moving to LA, I really found the people that perception, the street of dreams. You think Hollywood is a shithole. I mean,
it really is.
There's people crapping on the sidewalks, I mean,
it's the homeless problem there is horrific.
Yeah, I think that was San Francisco that had all the tech.
That too, but LA is really bad.
They have great weather, so they're everywhere. Come on, I go back to Florida, and they're
very tan homeless.
Every intersection going on to is, they're holding signs: homeless, need money, food, whatever, cash, drugs, alcohol, whatever, and so. I mean, I don't spend a whole lot of time in that area in Hollywood. I kind of live outside now, and but the thing is, people, when they dream of Hollywood, you're dreaming of the way you perceive it on TV.
Yeah,
and It's not.
It's not that.
It's not. I mean, I love it. I mean, there's some great stuff if you have the money to do things, but it's, being a Hollywooder is not cheap. Restauranting and going places and valet parkings and even going to the Hollywood Bowl, which is an amazing venue. I mean, it costs. Concert costs are crazy how much concerts cost.
Oh, yeah. Like when the Rolling Stones announced that they were going to go on tour, I said, I was never a Rolling Stoner. I was a Beatle girl. But I said, I'd like to see them. I'd never seen them, so I want to see them. So I went online. To sit up in the nosebleeds was $1,000. I said, I didn't pay $1,000 to see the Stones.
That's
no way.
It's insane. And again, I have a lot of people, and I could use favors, but I haven't. Like, I don't hang out with these people as much anymore, and I don't like I'll cut out of the, especially when you're in these cities, everybody wants tickets, It's,
oh God, yeah.
So I don't bother. I get people calling me, can you get me tickets, for so and so? It's like I can't. I mean, I don't want to overstep my friendship. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Friggin' Peter, he calls me when he wants tickets.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't do that, but it's been
well.
good,
Unfortunately,
right?
I don't have those kind of connections.
I just can't. I just don't see how people afford to go to these shows, because you're right. The cheap seats, like I saw in SoFi Stadium, my daughter wanted to go see this country artist. Can't remember him right now, but it was like $300 to be way up there. $300, times 2 or times 3 or 4 if I was,
right.
And I said, I can't see doing it. I mean, because she wants to go to a concert with me, which I'm really kind of enamored that she wants to go somewhere with her father.
Right.
Because I know that.
Pre-COVID, I used to go to 2 concerts a year, but they were very reasonable. And I go to the Garden. I had my section and, where I like to sit, and it was great. And then after COVID, once people started getting back out of there again because of everything that went on, they needed the money. The venues needed the money because they lost so much money, But I mean, the ticket prices are ridiculous.
Plus the taxes out there in California are horrific as well.
Yeah,
everything. Yeah. But the thing is, as an artist, you're not selling records anymore. Who's buying records?
Yeah.
And Spotify and iTunes are fractions of a penny. There's nothing. I know, Steve Luca, there's a guitar player friend of mine. He's one of the biggest.
Steve, yeah, Toto.
He was one of the first guys on my show. I mean, he opened up about his personal life big time because
I knew amazing.
I've been all over the world with that man. I've got stories, but I can't tell them. And I've had some of the greatest times. But it's like you can't, if you don't make any money anymore with the road, so you have to charge a lot. When I was growing up as a kid, I remember seeing Aerosmith for $7.50. Okay, but you were hoping to break even touring to sell records, to get inspired to sell records. Now there's no more of that. So the only way they make money is by paying $40 for a T-shirt, and paying these ungodly amounts for concert tickets.
Right.
I just don't know how the hell people afford it, and people go. They love.
The stadiums are packed. They're packed. So
I don't understand it. I mean, I but God bless everybody and the people that do to support the music and all that. I'm just, it's just, I'm telling you, it's a big break for me. I'm not there right now. I'm too busy.
Well, you got the overwhelming price of the ticket and all these, for the longest time now, you're getting gouged with fees. So you're getting a double beat down.
All the above. It's all, and a lot of people, some of the artists are pissed off about that with with these ticket sales, with Ticketmasters and all that. The way they get them to brokers and all, but I don't know. It sucks. I think that end of it, but it blows my mind how people, as hard as times are, still can afford to go do that. And so I guess there's still hope. I don't know. We'll see.
Always looking for hope.
Listen,
Peter, I'm always out there hoping.
So long as I'm at the point in my life, so just waking up every day, it's like, okay, thank you, God. I mean, because it doesn't
That's
have
what
to be
I
that
say.
way.
That's what I say. Every day you wake up is a gift.
It is a
hurdle one over.
And then I get out of bed. I get out of bed and can go right into getting my head kicked in. But I woke up and I'm alive, so I'm good.
Well, listen, we're gonna have to say goodbye, unfortunately. But it's been a pleasure to have you on. You're such an interesting person.
Absolutely.
And I'm so happy that you said yes, and I'm glad that we were able to to make it through the Zoom thing, because I think I would have been devastated if I didn't have the opportunity to meet you and talk to you.
Well, thank you.
You know?
Thank you for having me on. Look, I try to stay accessible if schedule permitting. As I told you, I said I don't get on a lot of people's shows because I'm so busy a lot of times with my own stuff. But it's but I am. I'm grateful. Thank you. I don't even know how you found me or how we found each other. Or
well, she's a stalker.
LinkedIn. LinkedIn. You and I spoke on LinkedIn.
Okay. Because I speak to. I mean, to me, I'm that guy who has to go out and go everywhere to get everything done. So I lose track.
We spoke on LinkedIn. You accepted my invitation, and when I looked, I said, "Well, I would love to have you on my show." And we
careful what you wish for.
So. It's so funny, but but it's been great, and
absolutely.
I'm sorry we were late, but it's turned out to be really, really good. And for all my peeps out there, if you go on funnyminds.com, you will see that we have a store with crazy T-shirts and what have you, or whatever. You can get whatever. But there's two organizations that we're very aligned with, and that's St. Jude's Children's Hospital and Women's Breast Cancer. So you'll see a big purple star there. And, it's the end of the year. You're looking for write-offs. You want to, give something. It's one of those organizations, or both of those organizations are very good. So just asking, just putting it out there. And I always tell my people, be happy, be healthy, be wise, be safe, be not judgmental, and laugh, because laughter, in my estimation, is the best medicine. So with that, Peter, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to say thank you again.
Thank you.
And it was wonderful to have you on. It was great to meet you. And
anytime.
You go out there and you do your thing.
I'll do my thing, and you'll see, or you'll know. And
I'll know.
Oh, God, what happened?
Peter, thank you so much for being on. And
really?
I fully support your new approach. I'm excited about it. I think you should, say what you want to say, talk about what you want to talk about. Obviously, you do it in a very tasteful, well-educated way. And you're willing to listen to both sides, do it.
It's not groundbreaking. It's not groundbreaking, but I'm just going to get a little more of I don't care.
People need more of a little dose of truth every once in a while, and start a pot and get some talking going.
Go for it. Okay, Peter.
And get a drum set next time. A loud one, a really loud one.
I have really loud ones. There's 4 of them sitting in cases. That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking Alex Van Halen 4 bass drum.
I know where his are at, too.
I bet you do.
Yeah. All right. Listen, thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you, Peter.
Right, take care. Have a nice holiday.
Be well. Have a great holiday.
Hey, thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.